Welcome to the Emirate of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. Here we are today at the Arab Health Show, the second largest of its kind in the entire world. And down there are thousands of physicians and nurses and buyers of medical equipment. If you get sick, this would be a great place to do it today. Now, there are also 200 U.S. companies in the U.S. pavilion. They're here because it's a great place to sell their goods and services, and we're going to give you some reasons why.
GDP here is in excess of 4% a year, double that of the US and almost triple that of Europe. It's a very wealthy region. Healthcare is a major concern. Next to energy, I believe it's the largest expenditure in the Middle East. It takes someone to visit this show to understand the dynamic of it. Once they're here, they realize it's a real business.
Right now, our company enjoys about 85% of our total revenues from exports. Of our total revenues for the company, more than 25% come from the Middle Eastern markets. Less than 1% zero bad debt write-off with any of the business that we do in the Middle East.
So far, it's big. I mean, the show is flat out big. Everything you can imagine is here. I don't know if I've seen this many people other than like a New York City subway, but it's a lot of people and from every country in the world doing every product possible affiliated with healthcare.
I have come to this show because I need to get some companies to distribute their products, and I want reliable companies.
Why U.S. products and not Turkish or Chinese or Japanese or all of the others that we see?
The products we know already are reliable and they can last long. Most U.S. companies maintain good quality, and because you do not want products that won't work.
Why do you think U.S. companies are so timid when it comes to traveling overseas for business, particularly in this area?
Oh, because they think the news you see, like, CNN and all, is always focused on the bad and bloody things. Just like people here think that it's very dangerous in America because all they see is the horrors, like the school shooting. They think it's very dangerous in America. So it's a misconception because they don't ever show children and grandmothers walking around. They show the bloody scene.
Here is another buyer looking for U.S. suppliers.
My name is Yahya Alami. I work for a Saudi company. It's called Jamjoom Medical Industries Company Limited, one of the largest companies in Saudi Arabia in medical disposables.
Will Mr. Alami make a big purchase? Let's check back with him later. Next, reason to attend an international trade show number 2, help meeting buyers with money.
My name is Yusuf Al-Mahdi. I'm the commercial specialist from the Commercial Service Office in the Embassy of the US in Kuwait. And we're here in Arab Health 2013, heading a delegation of 10 companies, 10 Kuwaiti local companies. It has been an exciting couple of days so far. There's plenty of opportunities for export success stories.
Big market in Kuwait for healthcare and other things?
Well, it is. A couple of years back, the government of Kuwait initiated what's so-called the National Development Plan, $104 billion plan to upgrade several infrastructures, including the healthcare. About $3 billion will be spent in the coming few years to upgrade the healthcare sector, including building several general hospitals, So we're really looking forward to introduce Kuwait to the participating companies here, and looking forward to really, strike some good deals and success stories.
I'm helping U.S. companies matchmake with Egyptian companies. We have a delegation of 29 Egyptian companies present in the Arab Health, and we're doing showtime meetings with U.S. companies. There is a lot of demand for the U.S. companies to enter into the Egyptian market, as we do not have high-tech local production of medical devices in Egypt. We depend mainly on imported devices. And U.S. products are famous for their good quality, and they have a high reputation in the Egyptian market.
Do you think there'll be some deals before the end of the week?
Of course, there will be a lot of deals.
My advice is come to trade shows like this to really start learning about the market, learning about the customers, meeting potential partners who can help you. So this is where half of our meetings are with potential distributors and partners who can really help, especially small companies, go from nothing to actually being effective and selling in this part of the world. You have to really find partners who can help you market, sell to this part of the world, because you don't have the resources to do it yourself. So our strategy, we have 100 distributors around the world who are our marketing partners.
It's very important to meet the distributors that we have in the region and to find new distributors. I was told once, several years ago, by a person out of Saudi Arabia that they don't like doing business with companies unless they get to see them firsthand and get to see face-to-face. Without having a face-to-face contact with our distributors and future distributors, we can't do business here. So it's incredibly important to be here and see them.
International trade shows like Arab Health are a great way to meet crowds of qualified buyers under one roof. But sitting in a booth, watching the world go by, may not generate many sales. Behind the scenes, the most successful U.S. companies are getting help. You met Yusuf and Rania, who bring buyer delegations from their countries. But there's even more help available.
It is, and it's not just the commercial officers like myself who work in Abu Dhabi or Dubai or elsewhere. In this market, the United Arab Emirates, but in many places, business is often the highest priority of the entire diplomatic mission. Here, my ambassador will publicly say probably once today that his highest priority is business, and he means it. Everybody in the embassy who can pitch in does pitch in to help U.S. businesses operating overseas.
U.S. Ambassador Michael Corbin still has high expectations for this year's exhibition, building on last year's success.
As you know, this healthcare products and healthcare services sell themselves to a certain extent because the United States has some of the best healthcare products in the world.
U.S. Commercial Services made this possible. It started with a webinar that we were on a few months ago, and we'd known about the show, but that was the final kick to come. Didn't quite know what to expect. There's a lot of times things of this nature have a lot of smoke and mirrors, and they buff things up to make them look a lot better than they really are. These people are really doing what they say they're going to do. To be able to sit down and meet with embassy delegates and learn about the region and get their honest feedback. And it's not all good, but to be able to wade through months, probably years of learning and testing the water, and already have someone who's already done it. I already have the background checks on the agents and the distributors, and to be able to trust them, use them as not only a liaison but as your advisor is fantastic.
There are probably, I don't know how many states are here, 5 to 10 states. We all have our own kind of expertise in-house, but we always partner with the commercial service because they have offices around the world and, augment our skills, very well. So at this show, there are commercial specialists throughout the Gulf are here. So we have a chance for us to meet with them and for our companies to meet with them. So I'd say it's a great hands-on kind of help that we get from these experts, from the commercial service in these markets.
So the first thing is to understand that you don't stand alone. The mechanisms that we spoke about earlier with the U.S. Commerce Department, Enterprise Florida, the World Chamber, organizations such as this provide a phenomenal amount of support, a lot of which is free or extremely cost sensitive for you to participate in. So you can really screen the activity even before you show up. On the backside of the transactions, all of our receivables are insured through the U.S. Export-Import Bank. So we have less than a 5% probability of having any funds lost due to a poor transaction using these mechanisms that are freely available to us.
Our Export Express program will provide financing under $500,000 for companies to support their activities like attending the Arab Health Show or any other export development costs that they might have. So for those companies that need export help in any regard, Export Express is an excellent tool to get there.
One of the things that the U.S. Census Bureau does that's vitally important is provide data to U.S. companies to know if they can be competitive. So what we actually have been preparing for companies is to let them know that their medical products are actually competitive and viable in this market. Orthopedic products, for example, we show them their particular market worldwide, and then we also narrowed it just to Middle East countries, and they didn't realize, number one, that Census provided that information, and then they didn't realize that, wow, our product is being exported here so well already. This is a market we can truly be competitive in.
To review, there are 3 main reasons to attend an international trade show. The shows are often located in high-growth markets and attract buyers with money to spend. Help is available before, during, and after the show. The U.S. government and some state governments provide valuable assistance to help you get the most out of international trade shows. For more information, visit export.gov. We promised to tell you what happened to Mr. Alami, the buyer from Saudi Arabia.
Was there good news for an autoclave company that you represent?
Yes. We just bought actually 2 big sterilization medical from ETC near New York, in Philadelphia, and this was about a deal $2 million. Yes, of sterilization units, about.
We thank you very much for
sir.
Negotiating that sale.
Thank you, and I'll take this opportunity to thank U.S. Commercial Service from Ministry of Trade that they always help us to find the right suitable candidates.
Thank you very much for joining us at the Arab Health Show in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. We hope during the next year you will decide to come to one of these shows and receive the services of the U.S. Commercial Service and sell your products at hundreds of trade shows all over the world. From Dubai, I'm Doug Barry of the U.S. Commercial Service. Thanks for joining us.